What's going on there, everybody? This is XD Joker XB coming at you with another video. Right now I'm going to talk to you about my top 10 favorite anime shows. I'm a little sick right now, so if I speak weirdly, that is exactly the reason why. Coming at you with number 1. The Yu Yu Hakusho. The Yu Yu Hakusho is the very first anime that I've ever watched before in my life. I think I was about 11 years old, maybe 12, when I first seen it. It might have came out like a long time ago before that. Pretty much Yu Yu Hakusho is about this kid that dies named Yusuke Urameshi, and when he passed away he became a spirit detective. And oh my god, man, if you guys never seen that series, you guys need to go and see it. A lot of cool fights. Almost reminds me of Dragon Ball Z, but not exactly. Just added more suspense for an anime show. Like, I've never seen an anime show that had a lot of dialogue in it the way that Yu Yu Hakusho did, and you know, a lot of weird characters and stuff like that, and a lot of your favorite voice actors and shit are in there as well. So, with that being said, we're at number 2. Dragon Ball. Now, Dragon Ball taught me a lot about focusing and, you know, trying my best with every little thing that I did, and, you know, never giving up and always seeking more power. Fuck this, I gotta put my camera down. Sorry, guys. Never giving up on anything that, you know, I try to put my mind to, and you know, it's just one of those animes that, you know, really make you think, and really gets exciting too when you know, are that kind of age, and you know, you want to be that most powerful person. With that being said, we're coming at number 3. Number 3 is Dragon Ball Z. Now, everybody loves that Dragon Ball Z. Now, I know a lot of shit is happening with, you know, with all the claims of Vic, and then, you know, all that bullshit, but I'm not in any of that. I don't care. I'm just talking about the anime itself. So, pretty much with Dragon Ball Z, my favorites, saga is the fight between Goku and Frieza, and also the fight between Goku and Cooler, because that's when we see Sended Saiyan, Super Saiyan 2. That was the fucking most badass scene where he made the bird come back to life, and also you get your fucking cool ass bands in there like Drowning Pool. You get Change and House of Files, I think that is called, by Deftones, and there's a lot of badass songs and shit that come along with this series alone. Like, they featured a lot of cool metal bands in this series, and it's just one of those things where it's like, man, I can't wait to see it. And plus, I'm sure you guys remember collecting all the VHS tapes with the covers, and then the side of the covers made like a whole picture of the fight scenes, or whoever the fact may be, especially like with Majin Buu and stuff like that. That show is just badass. Like, it made you want to fight people. With that being said, coming at you at number 4. Full Metal Alchemist. Now, Full Metal Alchemist holds a very good key to my heart. The original Full Metal Alchemist, even though Brotherhood was pretty good, they go into depth with a lot of things that happened in the first one that they weren't able to really tell. But that really taught you like the bond between two brothers and how they were able to change the world, but just going through the horrible experience that they went through. And if none of you guys ever seen that anime, please go check it out. It's called Full Metal Alchemist. It starts off with brothers that lost their mother. Their father is nowhere to be found. The brother's name is Edward and Alphonse Elric, and so when they lost their mother, they developed this thing called alchemy, which they were doing before they left. They lost their mother. Pretty much what they did was a taboo, which is bringing people back to life, and they suffered the greatest consequences about that. Alphonse lost his body, and his soul was attached to a suit of armor, and Edward lost his arm and leg trying to attach his younger brother Alphonse's spirit to that suit of armor, and from that point on, they tried to get a thing called the Philosopher's Stone, and the adventures and what they encountered through that really defined who they were, and it tested them as siblings a lot as well, and it also makes you think a very lot about how the world is. Like, to me, Full Metal Alchemist is like how this world is, and it's like it's very, very hard to explain. Like, very, very hard to explain. I would need a full hour or two just to justify and explain exactly what I mean by it's like this world. So, with that being said, number 5. Death Note. Death Note is one of my favorite detective animes that they have out there. One of my favorite. We're going to be getting to my very first favorite detective animes. But that show really made me want to fucking do homework more, because I wanted to be as smart as they were. You have Light Yagami, and he's pretty much a top A student, A's all the goddamn time and stuff like that, and pretty much what happens is you're sick of the same old thing happening every single day, just like the god of death, Ryuk. You're both getting bored, and Ryuk dropped his death note down into the human world. He finds it, and he starts writing in it, and discovers that he's able to kill people within, I think it's like 30 seconds? Comment if I'm wrong. 30 seconds goes by, they just die of whatever. Unless you specifically write what they die of, then they would die of it. And he learned that he can manipulate criminals and stuff like that, and started off with good intentions, but then it started off with, very bad intentions. So, yeah, that show really kept me going through school, and like I said, it was one of those things where it's like, it was like a not like a Batman type of comic book, but as far as like, detective skills and how, like a chess game, like they've referenced that before in there, and ultimately they both just wanted justice. L wanted justice for the people that were dying, and Light wanted justice for the people that were being fucked over from all these criminals, and that's pretty much all he killed was criminals, and or anybody that almost got a glimpse of who he was, so he had to take out a few people, so it began to be a little bit more dark. But as far as intellectually and determination, and one person's trying to up that other person, one person's trying to be 5 steps in front of that person, and then it's one of those things where it's like it really gets you going, like what the hell is going to happen next week. So, but I hate to say it, Misa is the most annoying fucking character there is in that whole entire series. So, but I do recommend watching the one episode where she encounters Light's college crush. I forgot what her name was, and she becomes really, really jealous, starts drinking a bottle of champagne, and starts saying all this dumb, retarded shit, and it's very funny. All right. With that being said, number 6. Naruto. Now, I know a lot of all of you have been thinking, well, Naruto isn't really that great. Naruto Shippuden was better, or Naruto was better than Naruto Shippuden. you couldn't have either one without the other. Well, you could have the other one without the other, but pretty much when I first started watching Naruto, that was the very first thing that I got into because they didn't have Shippuden. To be honest, like, you guys are gifted to where you're able to watch either or. When I was watching that Saturday night, you know, Toonami, which we all watched that Saturday, Toonami. But you know, when that first started coming out, it was pretty fucking badass. Like, you know, I'm pretty sure a lot of kids felt the way that Naruto felt. I mean, didn't go through exactly the same things that he went through, and you know, a lot of people have sided with, you know, Sasuke, or sided with, you know, Naruto, or, you know, everybody had their favorite character within that show, but mostly it was Naruto. But you know, it gave people a lot of strength and indication that, you know what, even though I feel like I am a fuck up, you know, maybe some good can come about it. And you know, it really just, that show just really, just the Naruto show, Shonen Jump, that really like made you feel like going out there and just, you know, overcoming anything, pretty much. Well, that's what I got off of it. And plus, it grounded a lot of backstory with a lot of things that happen in Shippuden, which they reference anyways. But so yeah, I recommend watching Naruto Shonen Jump before you watch Naruto Shippuden. With that being said, coming at you at number 7. Just like I mentioned in the last one, Naruto, you can't have Naruto without Shippuden, which, that's always a toss-up, but this is Naruto Shippuden for number 7. Naruto Shippuden, a lot of badass things happen. You get to see a lot more of what the characters can do, more so than you can in Naruto, and that's probably why people are more for Shippuden than they are for Shonen Jump. But one of my favorite episodes is when Sasuke finally comes encounter with his brother Itachi, and they have that final battle. I strongly recommend you guys watching this, and also a lot more backstory on, you know, Kakashi, a lot more backstory on the way that the village was run way before Naruto was born, and ultimately how, you know, history repeats itself. It's just one of those fucking animes. It's just one of those animes where it makes you like wow. I mean, a lot of people don't like backstories or the filler episodes, especially when you know, Naruto was on his way to meet Killer Bee and stuff like that, where he had to be on a fucking boat going on the thing. I always explain this to everybody. I mean, imagine your life. Imagine going to a job interview. Your job interview is 2 days prior, or 2 days ahead of time, right? What are you gonna do between those 2 days? Life just doesn't happen to where you can skip forward and go right to the job interview. So one of my things is, like, I like watching those filler episodes because it really has a lot to do with, you know, what struggles Naruto went through just to get to that point, or from each checkpoint to the other checkpoint, who he ran into and stuff like that. It's not overly, it's not like Bleach where they'll sit there and have filler episodes for like 100 episodes and it has nothing to do with the storyline before it, and then it's just pretty much useless. But yeah, Naruto Shippuden, I strongly recommend it. Number 8. Case Closed. I've watched a shit ton of Case Closed episodes. You know, it's like almost like if you watch CSI. Same thing, anime form. Just kidding, it's not the same thing. I loved it because it added more to how somebody could actually carry out something, and how he figures out on how to catch these criminals, and how to keep up his persona of not being who he is, which is a character named Conan, and he was, I can't remember his first name. It's been a very long time since I've watched this, but when I was deciding to make this video, this is one of the animes that stuck out and really, I really love this anime, but I haven't watched it in years. So forgive me if I don't know all of the character names or whatever, but I do remember Conan. And I remember this episode where he figured out that somebody was able to kill somebody. It was pitch black, and they were able to see him by the cigarette, the light off of the cigarette and stuff, and, you know, the Ark, the Noah's Ark, that movie. Also when they had, the Noah's Ark movie where they had Jack the Ripper, where they go into London, and they had to catch Jack the Ripper. I mean, the way that he figures out on how certain crimes or deaths, usually it was murder cases, usually somebody's getting murdered, but it was very, very fascinating on how he figures out how the person did it and went into great detail on how it was done. I rate that like 1,000 over 10. So if you have not seen it, please go check it out. Number 9, G Gundam. Now, I always loved G Gundam because of how they had to go through that rubber shit just to get into that fucking robot-looking fucking thing, and the fights between the robots. Power Rangers ain't got shit on that, but the blood spill, and it's just a great show. I really recommend it. Number 10. Alright, I know what you guys are thinking. How the hell is Teen Titans an anime show? Well, first of all, on Toonami, it used to come on Toonami of Teen Titans, the original Teen Titans, not that dumbass Teen Titans Go shit that is more appealing to fucking kids. But I know it's more of a comic book based type of show, which would make it a cartoon instead of an anime, but I consider it to be an anime because it touched on a lot of touchy subjects, and you know, the how they came about, how each episode would be about, well, not each episode, but, you know, each span of a few episodes at a time would be about certain people, their background stories and stuff like that. And then I felt like they never were given a chance to really expand more on what was, you know, being done. They had that very good start off, and then all suddenly got canceled for no reason. Well, I feel like it was for no reason. But yeah, Teen Titans, the original series, I strongly recommend it. And here are some honorable mentions. Well, that concludes my list of my favorite top 10 anime. Please like or comment down below if you agree with me. All of these aren't in particular order of what was good or bad or any of that say. It's just how I put this list together. With that being said, hope you guys enjoy. I'll see you guys with the next.